Matrix, I kept hearing people say that we will have the mark of the beast and it will be a chip or a mark on our hand. Some people believe it will be on our forehead, but I believe it's already in our hand. It's in our hand. So many people sitting around waiting for the chip to look like this. What if I told you we already have the mark of the beast and it's already in my hand as I make this video? Yes, the chip or the mark of the beast is our cell phone.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here to the channel, you guys don't know what we do, don't worry, I'm gonna break it down for you guys. We talk about the most scariest and creepiest videos on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG reels, Facebook, anything weird, unusual, unexplained, you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank the Seekers man who's watching the videos entirely. Commented down below. Found this video for you guys today. Let's do what we do best, Seekers. Say it with me, y'all. Let's seek the truth.
What different dimensions look like.
Okay, so we have a glass table in someone's kitchen. Boom. There is a whole other world, a whole other dimension, all around us. All
really?
The time. But we can't see it. Stay weird, y'all.
Let me tell you what I just learned today. A 9-year-old who was supposed to run a 5K race accidentally took a wrong turn into the adult 10K race and ended up winning it. That is so awesome. Elvis Presley's private jet was sold for $260,000 after being parked abandoned in the desert for the last 40 years. Can only imagine the history of what happened on that jet. There's a town in Poland where all 6,000 residents live on the same street. Why? The Match founder lost his girlfriend because she met someone else on Match.com. This is a nuclear explosion photo that was captured at 1/1,000,000th of a second. There was a woman that was so focused on a seagull that she missed her boyfriend proposing to her. This is the original check for $7.2 million that bought Alaska from Russia in 1868. Eva Longoria spent $6 million to save the movie John Wick after her agent convinced her it was the right decision, and she now believes it was the best money she ever spent because she still receives checks 10 years.
She's right. John Wick is a legend.
This is just incredibly unbelievable. Arizona has sandstorms, and they're so intense that when they blow through, they cover the entire city. Take a look at this video. Look at this. This was just the other day in Arizona.
Whoa.
This is Arizona, believe it or not. Look at that. That's sand. That's a sandstorm blowing in, covering the entire city. So they're saying that that storm is called a haboob. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with what a haboob is, it's a dust storm, a sandstorm. It includes up to 90-mile-per-hour winds that push the dust straight through the city of Arizona. To me, like many of you who have seen the videos coming out of Arizona, it doesn't just appear to be dust. Take a look at this.
What is it?
That's crazy. Oh, what the heck?
They driving in that?
That car's gonna...
What does that look like to you?
Can't see anything, bro, and they driving in that.
The crazy part about all of this, once that sandstorm slash dust storm was done, they were hit with a crazy rainstorm. Let me know your thoughts in the comments as to what you think is going on in Arizona. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
This massive animatronic breathes, and there's a video of it breathing at the end if you just want to go skip and see that. It's 30 feet long or 10 meters long, and don't get me wrong, it's absolutely gorgeous. However, I would be terrified to go near this thing. Once again, my account is about megalophobia and creepy things that I find creepy. But yeah, this thing is absolutely massive. Look at it compared to those two people up there. Also, damn girl, for free? It's an installation that's in London this month, and I think it's going to be there next month too. Maybe I'll actually go look at it because I am going to London next month. But it's in front of Somerset House, which is like an art kind of gallery place. But the fact that it breathes creeps me out so bad. Like, I'm just waiting for it to like break that glass and like escape and just like pummel people. Like, I'm gonna be ready to fight. It's by an artist called Ty Shawnee, and it's called The Spell or the Dream. And she's sleeping, and I'm just waiting for her to wake up and wreak havoc. Watch this video of her breathing and let me know how you're feeling, and would you go near this thing?
Let's check it out. Oh, that's creepy, bro. It's really breathing. What the hell?
Some of the most disturbing moments in kids' TV shows. Part 2. Mr. Meaty was a Nickelodeon TV show that aired for 2 seasons in 2005 that involved 2 ugly teenage puppets, Josh and Parker, selling meat to other puppets at a fast food restaurant. Although the show itself was disturbing enough and filled with gross scenes, one episode called Moochmaster P traumatized every person who watched it. The episode consists of Parker mooching off everybody's lunch in the mall until he decides to eat the raw burgers they planned on serving. Because of this, Parker discovers that a large tapeworm has begun living in his stomach due to the raw burger. The duo quite literally fish the tapeworm out of his stomach and it squirms around until being caught. A man then offers to buy the worm for a zoo, only to let the worm go down his own throat. Needless to say, this was a truly haunting episode of this disturbing TV show.
I don't remember that show.
Babies in Mississippi dying before they even reach the age 1. When I tell y'all, so many children, it's so many children. They are saying it is off the charts, y'all. And I'm sitting here like, how is this normal? Nobody see that this is crazy? Nobody see the problem with this? Why is nobody talking about this? We are talking about infants in Mississippi passing away at an alarming rate. As a matter of fact, they are saying 9.7 infant deaths per 1,000 babies born.
It's way too high.
They say this is the highest level within a decade, y'all. And guess what race is leading at the top of this? Just guess. If you guess blacks, you were right. Look what it say, y'all. This shit is crazy, fool. What? Now you just read what I read. So what is your questions? Because I'm trying to figure out why is black among the leading in this? What is going on? I really need y'all thoughts down below in the comments. Make sure you share this. This is wild.
Something big is happening in the UK right now. In recent weeks, England flags have been popping up all over the country. And while that might seem uncontroversial, a country flying its own flag, in the UK, it's kind of rare. And it sparked a heated debate of whether it's racist to fly the England flag or not. It's been dubbed Operation Raise the Flag, and they've started appearing pretty much anywhere a flag can be hung. Lampposts, bridges, over highways, and it's even being painted on crossings and roundabouts. People who support this operation often argue that raising the flag is about being able to be proud of traditional British identity, which they argue has been suppressed in the country in recent years. Others, however, say that when they look at this flag, they see white supremacy, and it being hung up everywhere is like a reminder that they should go back to their country. It's to the point where some argue that if the country wants a flag that isn't seen as oppressive and instead represents a modern-day Britain, they should change the flag. And this situation only got more controversial when reports started coming out that some local governments started removing these flags, citing safety reasons. So there's one side that say the England flag represents pride in British identity and history, while the other side say that much of British history is marked by oppression and that the flag serves as a reminding symbol. So while it might seem like just an argument about a flag, in reality it's a fight over what will be the identity of modern day Britain. So the question is, what do you guys think?
See, this is the reason why I don't be getting on rides at amusement parks now. Them shits are not safe. Did you see the video of the girl that flew out of the fair ride? Mind you, when you see the video, you're not gonna notice it. But somebody remixed the video, put the video in black and white, and slowed the video down, and you see the girl flying out of the fair ride. The video is titled, "You Think You Could Hurt Me?" I literally saw my friend passed away on the fair. Nah, man. And no, I'm not putting the video up here because I don't even think the video should be on social media. This shit is crazy. And just to show you shit was real, look at the aftermath of this shit. Look at this shit right here. This is after everything happened. This shit is crazy, man. This is exactly why I don't play that amusement park shit. No Great Adventures, no amusement parks, none of that shit. I'm not riding rides. I'm not doing anything. I've seen too many people get on them rides and not get off them rides to be playing with them rides. I'm from the era where people was getting on the Cyclone in Coney Island. If you know Coney Island, you know the Cyclone. You know how old that shit was? And now they finally said, you know what? We're not gonna open the ride anymore. Cyclone Cove. I'm from the era where people was getting on the hellhole in Coney Island, spinning around and dying, breaking their legs and all that shit in the hellhole. I'm not with that. Nope, we not gonna do that.
Peggy the doll is causing...
Hey man, some people, they into roller coasters. I'm one of them, man. I think I legit only rode one. And after that, man, I couldn't do it, bro. That ain't it for me. If I ride, it has to be safe. Like, I have to know, guarantees nothing ever happened on that ride.
nosebleeds, heart attacks, and even deaths. She's currently residing in Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum in Las Vegas. Peggy has a reputation for causing severe reactions for people she comes in contact with. One of these encounters was even caught on camera. Visitors of the museum have reported a range of disturbing experiences after interacting with Peggy. Some have had nosebleeds, some have fainted, chest pain, and even heart attacks. Others have reported feeling extreme rage, nausea, or dizziness. And these incidents have been so frequent that guests actually have to sign a waiver before they're allowed to enter in the room that she's in. When psychic mediums attempt to communicate with her, they actually reveal a lot of disturbing information. They claim that everything happens because the spirit that's inhabiting Peggy is angry and vengeful. This video was put onto TMZ earlier this week, and it's extremely disturbing.
How do people visit things like that? Bad spirits. Is she like faint? The boyfriend didn't even try to catch her. She okay?
Let me know what you thought about all of that and follow for more.
You guys
I ain't going there.
The Doomsday map? They came out with a map that looks like this.
Oh, wow.
This is America. They do like the whole world, but this shot is of America. But this lady, her name is Peggy Bolton. She did some really fun research regarding the Doomsday map. She compared what this map looked like. She compared that to the land that Bill Gates has been buying. All the farmland. He is the majority farmland owner in the United States right now. She took the map of the farmland that he owns and overlaid it onto this Doomsday map. Every single dry land piece was occupied by his farmland, including California. So California is basically completely underwater, but there's these little pockets of islands. You see those? That little one right there, that's one of his farmlands. Like that compared to like Zuckerberg, because on this Doomsday map, Hawaii is completely fine. And she talked about how Jeff Bezos is also buying up farmland around the US. That all correlates with like these high points in America. It's super creepy.
So we need to get a boat.
According to this map, we're good. We're gonna almost have beachfront property, baby.
All the kids missing in Virginia.
What happened?
There's like 400 plus kids missing. Ice cream trucks around Virginia that are going around at 1 a.m. to unusual times, bro.
And they're like taking kids.
A shorty posted a TikTok because an ice cream truck was chilling in her backyard. But she's getting voicemails.
This is probably one of the creepiest voicemails I have ever gotten.
You don't know me, and I don't think you'll find out who I am. Since you're a TikTok investigator, that's my little game.
No, she's giving clues though. So it's like, since you want to debunk this whole ice cream, we'll do it to you. Yo, she's trying to be like a movie.
Yes. If you like big slugs in your backyard, go out and find out what's in it. And I bet nobody will get involved because it's shitty.
Like, what was that at the end?
Fam!
What was in it though?
She didn't go, obviously. She called the cops. Ice cream trucks. What are ice cream trucks lord too? Get kids out.
Hold on. When did this happen?
A week ago.
Weapons.
And no,
oh my god.
Yo, you know when you're talking about movies?
Like, Manifest Life?
Manifest Life.
That's creepy, bro.
Chris,
We got a bunch. We got everything you could imagine. What'd you like?
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob, come on in. Come grab it.
I have to come in.
Come on, grab it.
You're supposed to give it to me.
No, well, it's free. No, you gotta come grab it.
Do y'all realize the CIA, Hollywood, the FBI, they're all in on it together, right? Some of the best brainwashing technology is literally the TV, the cell phone. Because they tell you the truth in movies and TV shows. Because of universal law, they have to tell you what they're doing or what they're gonna do so they don't get no bad karma from it. But they don't tell it to you straight up because then you're actually gonna pay attention to it. So they tell you subtly using entertainment. And that's one of the best ways to subliminally program somebody is using entertainment. Because while you're busy being entertained, while you're busy laughing, you're not paying attention to the knowledge that was encoded into what you're being entertained by. There is esoteric knowledge in almost all the movies and TV shows that we have. There is esoteric knowledge in many TV shows and movies that you watch. There are subliminal messages, hidden occultism, hidden symbolism in almost every show and movie you watch. Gas stations, your grocery stores, everything around us is hidden symbolism. Because that's the thing, when you didn't design something, you don't know what its actual intended purpose was. All you can do is take the word of the person who designed it and say, yeah, this is what it's for. And you just gotta believe them. But what you don't understand is if that person is smarter than you, if they know more knowledge than you don't know what their intent is.
Before I woke up and...
Speaking facts, man, you know how many years I came out later watching these kids together with you guys, what they be putting in the TV shows and movies. You don't understand it as a kid, but as you get older, you get the message behind it. So always pay attention, man.
In this matrix, I kept hearing people say that we will have the mark of the beast and there will be a chip or a mark on our hand. Some people believe it will be on our forehead, but I believe it's already in our hand. It's in our hand. So many people sitting around waiting for the chip to look like this. What if I told you we already have the mark of the beast and it's already in my hand as I make this video? Yes, the chip or the mark of the beast is our cell phone. You ever ask yourself, why do we have to have a two-way security with everything? They don't want to send you an email. They want to call you or send you a text. What, an email is not good enough? Nah, that's because they want everyone to have a cell phone. All you have to do is look at the first 4 letters in cell phone. You get cell. When you get locked up, they put you in a prison cell. Kind of makes sense, right? You have so many people that's obsessed with taking selfies, but they don't even realize that their selfies is just a mugshot. People keep saying 666. 666 is the mark of the beast. 666 is not the mark of the beast. These devices we hold in our hand is the mark of the beast. They give us these fancy cameras so we can think that we are doing something. No, they are just watching us. They give us these fancy ass speakers. No, they are just listening to us. Okay. You ever find yourself sitting back just minding your business, having random thoughts? Then you pick up your cell phone and your thoughts is now inside of the cell phone. Before you Google something, it's already there waiting for you. They said that there will be a time where you won't be able to buy or sell without the chip. Last time I checked, on our cell phones, we buy and we sell almost everything. Shit is getting to the point where people don't even want to go outside. They just can shop and buy off their cell phones. You ever see how people act when the new cell phone come out? You ever see how people act if they drop and break their cell phone? Shit. You ever see how children react if their parents take away their cell phone? I even heard stories of children killing their parents just because they took away their cell phone. But the real question we need to be asking ourselves is, why any of this? Why the mark of the beast? Why they want to track us? Why they want to listen to everything we speak about? That's because the Matrix is really a prison. They need to watch and monitor certain spirits. Because if you spiritually wake up, they know who you are. If you don't want to wake up, they know who you are. The only thing we had left that was sacred was our thoughts. Now our thoughts is no longer sacred. No more secret. Our thoughts is leaking all over the internet. If they can track everything you do, they will know your next step before you know your next step. Just remember that the Matrix want to replace the universe. The universe is everywhere, all the time. It knows everything we do. So the Matrix want to copy and paste the universe and watch everything we do. This is real easy right here. Why do you think they call it the iPhone? Why do you think Siri is Iris backwards? Check out my ebook.
Pink slime is now officially ground beef. What's pink slime? Let me show you. This crap up here. that they add to hamburger. Watch this and see for...
Gerald Zernstein grinds his own hamburger these days. Why? Because this former USDA scientist, now whistleblower, knows that 70% of the ground beef we buy at the supermarket contains something he calls pink slime. Beef trimmings that were once used only in dog food and cooking oil, now sprayed with ammonia to make them safe to eat, and then added to most ground beef as a cheaper filler. It was Zernstein who in a USDA memo first coined the term pink slime, and is now coming forward to say he won't buy it.
It's economic fraud. It's not fresh ground beef. It's a substitute. It's a cheap substitute being added in.
Zernstein and his fellow USDA scientist Carl Custer both warned against using what the industry calls lean, finely textured beef, and is widely known now as pink slime. But their government bosses overruled them.
Why didn't you consider it beef?
Because it was a salvage product.
Leftovers.
Fat that had been heated at low temperature and the excess fat spun out.
Here's how it's done. Those waste trimmings are gathered, simmered at low heat to make it easier to separate fat from muscle, put in a centrifuge and spun to finish the separation. Next, the mixture is sent through pipes where it's sprayed with ammonia gas to kill bacteria, and finally compressed into bricks and flash frozen for shipment to meat packers and grocery stores where it's added to most ground beef. And it doesn't have to appear on the label, because over objections of its own scientists, USDA officials with links to the beef industry labeled pink slime meat.
Ugh, I guess you really never know what you're eating. Shabarabooskies and bon appetit, baby.
Shrinkflation continues. American ordered a McDonald's Filet-O-Fish sandwich and is shocked that they are now the size of a slider. I worked at McDonald's. Those are definitely smaller. Don't buy McDonald's though, but also shrinkflation is a shocking situation where you're buying something that's smaller, but it's the same price or possibly even more. What's going on with our economy? What's coming around the corner with our economy? What's with the emergence of AI? Is this a part of a plan? We're going to be discussing more about this on my Rumble channel. If you want to tune in, comment the word Rumble below and check your DM.
Shrinkflation, bro. Bloodlock. Off-brand noodles.
Imagine living with someone that you know is trying to end your life. This hidden camera captures a moment this woman puts bleach inside her husband's coffee maker multiple times a day. This is Robbie Johnson, and he began setting up cameras all around his house when he started to notice that his coffee was tasting a little off. He wasn't really expecting to catch anything, but when he looked back at the footage, he was shocked. His wife Melody is seen pouring a substance inside his coffee maker every single day before he brewed the coffee. Robbie got testing strips, and each time it tested positive for chlorine. At this time, Robbie and Melody were in the process of a divorce, but they were still living together. Robbie pretended to drink his coffee every morning and continued to gather evidence so that he can go to police. But when he showed police all this footage, they said that they couldn't see exactly what Melody was pouring into the coffee maker, so he couldn't prove it. So Robbie had to set up even more cameras around the house with different angles so that he can prove that Melody was, in fact, poisoning him. Melody was charged with attempted murder, and I bet this guy will never let anyone else make him a coffee again.
That would.
It's not something that's terribly new, but have you heard about the woman that is haunting AI pictures, sees the face, and nobody can explain why she keeps showing up in AI images? If you look at her, she's not really general. I mean, there are specific characteristics even that aren't consistent. Again, nobody knows which prompts are generating this woman. Nobody knows why her face continues to appear in different models. So this has opened up one of my favorite questions about the idea that AI pictures can be haunted. And don't forget, if things like this are of interest to you, make sure to go check out the podcast. Katy Perry is coming under fire because her upcoming album, it features Dr. Luke, but a lot of people don't know that Katy Perry is allegedly trapped by Dr. Luke. Apparently, there is a lot going on behind the scenes that many people are not aware of. Little history here. Katy Perry was dropped by Columbia Records back in 2006, 2007. She signed with Capitol Records in 2007 at the age of 22. Part of that deal was that she was going to sign a 6-album production deal with Dr. Luke. Dr. Luke ended up doing her first 2 albums. He did One of the Boys, he did Teenage Dream, and they were massively successful albums, and he began to work on Prism. So Prism came out, and it was extremely successful, and allegedly it's around this time that Luke's services as a producer were bought out by Sony, but he included a clause that he was still going to be able to honor and finish out his 6-album deal with Katy Perry. And it was also around this time that Kesha came forward with the accusations against Dr. Luke. Then came this leak. Allegedly, this is a text exchange between Kesha and Lady Gaga around the time of the accusations, which also alleged that Dr. Luke had assaulted Katy Perry and she was stuck with him. So then we got the release of Witness, which did not feature Dr. Luke at all. And people sort of thought that she would never work with him again. But she had only fulfilled 3 of the 6 contracted albums. Legal predicament here is that Katy Perry signed her deal at 22 and she is now 39, and if she wants to continue having a career in music, she is legally bound to finish out the remaining 3 albums.
Is that why, like I said, I remember, didn't we hear like a couple of months ago how like she showed Katy Perry, she showed her old catalog or something for like a ridiculous amount of money, but now I guess she's trying to get back into the music scene, but she's stuck with that, I guess, producer, man. She has to make 3 more with him. See, cause man, that goes to show you gotta watch when you sign a contract. You gotta read the fine print, cause you never know who you gonna get stuck with. Gotta be fully prepared, man, for those consequences. That's crazy that she's stuck with that producer, Luke. Ooh. The hell is that? Where's the sky? Headache.
I'm the bad guy.
Damn. Warhol. Woo. Won't want to get bit by one of those. That's common knowledge.
You're not gonna believe what this guy accidentally caught on camera. Watch carefully.
Going so fast. You can barely see.
Did y'all see that? It's a pale humanoid figure lurking in the background. Probably encountered like Slender Man or something. Let me know what you guys think this is in the comments below. So you
I need out the guys' theories.
Believed to be human remains near a neighborhood, and your first thought is to take those human remains to Goodwill. That's what happened in Anderson, South Carolina, yesterday, June the 23rd, 2024. It is reported that an individual stumbled across what is believed to be human remains in a gravel lot located in or near a high-end subdivision called Grayland in Anderson, South Carolina. And instead of calling law enforcement, this individual takes those human remains to Goodwill, who then calls law enforcement.
Why?
Law enforcement does believe these remains to be human. They are searching a wooded area that is said to be in a new development in this subdivision, Grayland, in Anderson, South Carolina. They have also called in an anthropologist from Spartanburg County who is assisting in the case, and the remains have been sent to the FBI for DNA identification. As more information becomes available, I'll share it here, so go ahead and hit the follow button if you are not already following. There are 6 different people listed in NamUs who are missing from the Anderson, South Carolina area. I'm not going to list those individuals here because I don't want it to look like I'm speculating that these remains could be one of those individuals. You can do your own research on that.
Nasty.
That's insane. You can find some human remains and their first thought is to take it to Goodwill, man. That goes to show you how people, they don't be using their minds sometimes. See something like that, man, you just call the police, bro. You don't take it in a Goodwill. What the hell are they supposed to do with it? They're just gonna be just as confused and disgusted by it as you. People down there, you serious?
Fast food facts you didn't want to know. There's most likely other people's poop in your fast food drinks.
What?
Scientists tested samples from Burger King, McDonald's, and KFC and discovered that most of the drinks had traces of fecal coli in them. That's poop particles. Although regulation says that your drink should have 0% of poop, sample from different KFCs and Burger Kings had significant amounts. That poses a serious threat to diners. Fountain machines were tested too, and they had about 11% of E. coli. Some restaurants rarely clean their ice machine, and some restaurant workers that handle your ice don't wash their hands. Hope you have fun drinking poop. Like this video if you want a part 2.
I ain't drinking no more from all those restaurants listed. Fast food. Make your drink at home.
In 2014, a man named Martin took this picture of his daughter in Japan. It wasn't until later that he discovered an eerie thing about this photo. When the photo was taken, there was no man standing behind his daughter, yet it appears that there is. Again, if you look closely, you can see a man standing directly behind his daughter.
Ooh.
People believe that this is a ghost of a samurai or a World War II soldier. He just happened to catch it on camera while trying to take this cute and innocent photo of his daughter. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you believe that this is real?
First games you should never play. Part 14, the Dry Bones game. This game could get you anything you can dream of, but you're putting yourself at risk for losing your mind, being killed, or worse. To prepare, close all the doors and windows in your house, and then turn off all the lights. Begin at exactly 12:01. Go into your bathroom and look into the mirror. Make sure everything is silent. If you hear anything, he is already there. Think of something you want. This will be your prize if you win. Strike a match and wait for it to burn out on its own. If it lasts more than 15 seconds, you may continue. Lie down on the floor and recite these words. I am aware of your presence and I welcome you into my home. Go into the biggest room in your house and wait. To know that the game is officially started, you will hear a moan. If you hear anything else, abort. Once you hear this, run to your hiding spot and stay there, but remain completely silent. Remain in this place until 3 a.m. Once this time comes, go back to the biggest room in your house and say thank you for playing, but you must leave now. You are no longer welcome. If you did this right, you will hear another groan signifying that you won, and your prize will be at the door.
What's good? Today we continue our series going over the most evil children to ever exist. And the ones I got for you today are, these kids need help.
Okay.
First up on the list, we have Robert Thompson and John Venables. These two kids right here, wow. In the winter of 1993, these two kids became the youngest convicted murderers in the history of England. On February 12, 1993, these two young boys abducted young James Bulger, a 2-year-old, at a shopping mall. And here's the picture of them walking away with the 2-year-old. They then took the boy to a railroad track where they would beat him senseless with an iron bar. The last one we're going to be talking about today is Lionel Tate. On July 28, 1999, Lionel Tate's mother was babysitting a 6-year-old girl. Lionel's mother eventually went upstairs to go watch TV and left the young girl downstairs with Lionel, and this would prove to be a fatal mistake. Lionel continuously stepped on the girl's head and then went upstairs and tried to say it was a wrestling accident.
Nah. They that young? This goes to show you even back then, man, how the world was a dark place.
Creepy people who were caught on camera PT.1. Creepiest home.
You saw how the way they was at? Like, nah, that's why they were aware of their surroundings, because that guy was asking some weird questions. Just trying to lurk around in the background. Can't even go out and have a good time no more without, you always have to be constantly aware. Because weirdos out like that exist.
Camera footage PT.3.
Ooh. Wasn't it in a room no more? Damn. Scary. How the hell he get in the house? That's the real question we need to be asking.
The new horror movie Smile 2 just came out. And if you remember in 2022, the movie Smile went so viral that literally everyone was talking about it. So I really hope that the sequel will be good because we've been waiting. But I haven't seen the trailer yet, so let's watch it together.
Alright.
Huh?
He back.
What? No, 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 go away from me! What? What is it? Go away from me!
Louis?
Oh crap. Damn.
Something really crazy is happening to me. I keep seeing this face everywhere.
You witnessed a death. Now it's latched onto you.
Stop smiling at me!
Oh, I bet he back. Oh, damn.
That's a pretty cool shirt you got. Want me to sign it?
This is one of the most disgusting and evil cases I've ever heard. In February of 2013 in the Bronx, New York, a man was walking his dog at around 4 a.m. when his dog began to sniff around and led the man to a pile of trash bags that were left on the curb. As the man got closer, he realized that there was an awful smell coming from the bags that were sitting on the curb. So he decided to investigate, and lo and behold, he discovered that the bags were full of dismembered body parts. The man then decided to call the police, and after further investigation, the police found multiple different bags full of more dismembered body parts scattered across the city. It would then be discovered that the dismembered body parts would belong to a 45-year-old at-home caregiver by the name of Tanya Bird. Her body parts were placed in multiple heavy-duty trash bags containing everything from her torso to her shoulders to even her head. But guys, if only that was the worst part. You see, police then moved on to contact Tanya's son, Basim McLean, in which he responded that he believed that his mom's abusive ex-boyfriend was the one behind the killing of his mother. but little did the police know that that was not the case. As part of the investigation, police decided to go through Basim McLean's phone to see if he had any connection with his mom's murder. And lo and behold, they discovered a picture of McLean smiling in a selfie while holding his mom's decapitated head in his left hand. Yes, this is the picture of McLean holding his mom's decapitated head like it's a trophy. And of course it's blurred because we're not going to show the actual picture on here. After this, though, he was actually sentenced to 25 years in prison. But wait, it gets crazier. You see, years prior, before he was arrested, Basim McLean was actually married to a woman named Vera McLean, in which him and her had a 4-year-old son together. And about a year into McLean's prison sentence, he gets a call while in jail that his ex-wife, Vera McLean, is being charged with murder after beating their 4-year-old son to death with a broomstick. She was then sentenced to 17 years in prison. So one of them killed their mother, dismembered her body, and then flaunted her head in a selfie, and the other one beat their son to death with a broomstick. That's a pretty twisted couple, if you ask me.
Like, madness just went through that whole freaking family line. So the son...
Have you guys heard about the disturbing murder of the 3 Girl Scouts? This is the unsolved murder case of 9-year-old Michelle Gus, 10-year-old Doris Milner, and 8-year-old Lori Farmer. On June 12, 1977, 140 Girl Scouts ages 8 to 18 went to Camp Scott in Oklahoma for 2 weeks. Camp Scott was super popular in the town, but in 1977, nobody was prepared for what was going to happen. The very first night that the girls went to sleep in their tents, Lori, Michelle, and Doris slept together in Tent 8. The next morning at 6 a.m., a counselor found the lifeless bodies of the 3 young girls a short distance from their tent. All 3 girls had been sexually assaulted and badly beaten. Lori and Michelle had been bludgeoned while Doris was strangled to death. Now get this, 2 months before the trip, a training session was held at Camp Scott and something very alarming happened. A counselor's cabin was ransacked and a disturbing note was found in an empty box of donuts. The note said, "We are on a mission to kill 3 girls in Tent 1. Even though this note was strange and upsetting, the camp administrators dismissed the entire thing as a prank. The night that the 3 girls were murdered, a camp counselor remembered hearing strange moaning, so she got up and looked around but didn't find anything unusual. The main suspect was an escaped convict that police were desperately looking for, and his name is Gene Leroy Hart. He had been convicted of kidnapping and sexually assaulting 2 pregnant women in the past. Gene was captured 10 months later, but regardless of all the evidence found against him, he was not found guilty by the jury. When Gene was sent back to prison for his original crime, he collapsed and died from a heart attack just 2 months later. A chilling statement was made by Doris's 5-year-old little sister just minutes before she left to the camp. Doris's little sister asked their mom, "Mommy, what happens when people die?" And their mom tried to explain what happens after death. And that's when the little sister responded with, "Yeah, but everyone's gonna die tomorrow." I don't know about you guys, but that is super creepy. These murders remain some of the state's most disturbing unsolved cases.
And those camping trips, I remember there was like a little, I think I remember when I was a kid how our school used to go on those camping trip as well, but I wasn't a fan of them. I was always opted out. I said, nah, they ain't for me. I just don't trust them. Even as a kid, I wasn't trusting nobody. It's a tragic case, man.
Jeffrey Epstein lived in this house in the Upper East Side of Manhattan, and it's been stated that this is the largest private residence in New York. While Epstein was alive, he was visited at this house by a number of famous politicians and celebrities, including infamously Prince Andrew, who claimed nothing happened while he was there. I think the artwork on the house is a little eerie, to say the least, and I'm sure it's symbolic in its own way. Now, multiple bodyguards and people have gone on the record and said that inside of Epstein's house, there was a brain room, or a room filled floor to ceiling with security monitors. This would mean that every single inch of Jeffrey Epstein's house was being videotaped or photographed at every moment. And still to this day, there are tons of cameras on the exterior. I myself was a little freaked out after standing in front of this house, knowing that I was just captured on like 5 different angles. But this would mean that all of the trafficking, the assaults against minors that happened in this house, all of that was caught on camera. And that's true, it was, because Epstein was running a blackmail operation. It's too much to get into now, but if you want to hear me expose the true story, You can listen to the first episode of my show, The Conspiracy Files, on all platforms.
Companies you didn't know have a dark history, part 1.
Okay.
Nestle, the chocolatier of horror. The Willy Wonka of the real world. Most people know Nestle for producing candies like Kit Kat and the Crunch Bar. But their history, unlike the products they sell, is anything but sweet. In the 1970s, Nestle began an aggressive marketing campaign in several underdeveloped countries in an attempt to promote their baby formula and increase profits. The problem was, their marketing tactics were completely unethical. They hired fake nurses and were handing out free samples in hospitals, all the while trying to convince local mothers that their formula was healthier than the free and natural breast milk they already had. And it worked. Mothers began using the formula. And then, when their milk dried up from a lack of use, they had no choice but to use the formula. A formula that, when mixed with the unclean drinking waters these communities had available to them, would become nothing short of deadly. At its peak, their formula is estimated to have caused more than 200,000 infants a year to lose their lives, and more than 10 million to date. The incident caused massive protests, and you might be thinking, surely since they still exist, they must have learned their lesson and changed their ways, right? Well, I'm afraid the answer is no. No, they did not. Comment if you want me to continue this series, and if this has changed your perspective towards Nestle, and follow for more.
Let's talk about this.
Definitely changed my perspective.
A TikToker named Samuel said he was walking through a parking lot when a random man suddenly called his name. Whoever made the packaging for bacon needs to be fired. Because why is there no like Ziploc or anything on these packages? Who designed it? When I find you, I'm going to steal your dog. I'm going to give you the worst life you can ever have. I hate you. He looked at the guy and got closer to see if he knew him. But he had no idea who he was. And he wondered, how did the guy even know his name? That's when things started to turn weird. The man asked him for $1 and said he knew that he had one on him right now. I don't know how he knew that, but I would have told him to mind your business. Stop pocket watching. Hey, I got a question. Do y'all like chocolate milk or strawberry milk? Comment down below. Samuel said at this point his heart was beating out of his chest. He told the man, yeah, I have $1. You can have it. The man then snatched the $1 out of his hand and asked him if he wanted to see something. The man lifted up the back of his shirt, showed Samuel his tail. He then got on all fours, like an animal, you know, a dog, a lizard, and crawled away. Now look, man, I know this all sounds crazy, right? But as soon as Samuel had that interaction, he went straight to his car, recorded a TikTok video, uploaded the TikTok video.
Okay, bro, so the weirdest thing just happened to me.
Try this baby right here.
No, that's a good BLT.
I checked his page, and he hasn't posted since. That was his last video. If somebody knows Samuel, let me know if he's still alive, because that was his last video posted, and that was in 2022.
Damn. What do you guys think about the Skinwalker
While the
story?
world is focusing on Florida, not many people know that the Sahara Desert is flooding right now. And the pictures are insane. After 6 consecutive years of drought, the Moroccan Sahara was hit with what meteorologists called an extra-tropical storm. And they have brought an amount of rain that the region hasn't seen in up to 50 years. And here's the crazy part. This flooding may actually change the course of the region's weather for months and years to come. That's because the air will now retain more moisture, which causes more evaporation and draws in more storms. NASA satellites showed water rushing in to fill the famous Lake Erie, which had been dry for almost 50 years. This is the scare.
That's kind of scary, man, to see how our planet's reacting, bro. It's called the Sahara Desert for a reason, man. And it's flooded now, bro. That's proof right there that we need, bro. That our planet is changing. We gotta do better, man.
Scariest thing that ever happened to America.
Okay, we all know that America had a lot of scary things happen to it. But what I'm about to tell you has to be the scariest thing ever. On August 29th, 1968, every single TV in America shut down. And a demonic whispering was coming from every single TV in America. Many people believed it was the devil trying to get across some sort of message, but nobody really understood it. This lasted for about 25 seconds, and then all the TVs came back on. To this day, nobody knows what caused it or why it happened, but every single person believed it was the works of the devil.
Could that have just been a glitch in the system? Or something else, man. Every spirit trying to, like I said, get a message across. That's obviously an edit right there.
Times when companies dissed others, part 3.
Okay.
In 2001, Coca-Cola announced that they sold 4 more times than Pepsi. So Pepsi, being salty, decided to create this whole ad of a boy going to a vending machine, getting 2 Cokes from the vending machine, just so he can stand on the cans and get a Pepsi. They are honestly ruthless for this. Next, in 2014, Mercedes made a commercial showing how a chicken can keep their head still while their bodies move, saying Mercedes can do the same thing with their car stability. However, the car company Jaguar saw this and decided to make almost the exact same commercial.
Word for word, bar for bar, bro.
But at the end, a jaguar straight up destroys the chicken. That's cruel.
Scary facts you'll think about at night. Horned lizards squirt blood from their eyes. The Devil's Bible is a real book. If the sun exploded, you would not know about it for 8 minutes.
Oh.
20% of children report hearing voices.
There is something sinister that's occurred in the heart of Caddo Lake. An 8-year-old girl has completely vanished in or near the lake, which of course has left her family and loved ones completely devastated. This place is nestled within a remote and desolate swamp. Caddo Lake is shrouded in mystery. It's dark trees, murky waters, and there are countless hidden spots that would make it perfect for somebody to disappear. As the search for Anna continues, there has been a startling discovery. There are secrets buried deep within this eerie lake, far more than I think anybody could have imagined. Now, this chilling premise is the basis for the latest suspense and mystery film, produced by M. Night Shyamalan, premiering on Max Thursday, October 10th. Don't miss the stars Dylan O'Brien and Eliza Scanlon as they unravel the terrifying secrets hidden beneath the surface, only on Max.
This is how
Should I check that out?
actually are. Firstly, less than 1% of people can swallow 5 times on a single breath. So hold your breath and just swallow your saliva 5 times. It is very difficult to do. I can do it, but my siblings can't. So 20% of people have a gap in their teeth. I had a really bad tooth gap back in the day, so if anyone makes fun of you for having a tooth gap, just know you are more rare than them. If you're a naturally blonde individual, man or woman, you're actually quite rare in comparison to the rest of the world, because only 2% of people are naturally blonde, so pretty cool. Here are some new animals that were discovered in 2022. Only 42% of the earth has been discovered, so it's no surprise that new animals keep spawning. So let's see. The first known fox dog has just been discovered in Brazil after being hit by a car. I beg your pardon, but
What?
it did survive. That is one gangster-ass dog. I would definitely adopt this creature. If it doesn't eat cats, because I don't want Ash getting clapped. Speaking of cats, in Australia, they found a new type of cat shark. What is a cat shark? And they called it a demon cat shark because apparently it looks like a demon. Yeah, I kind of see it. I don't know what that is, but staying far away from that. And lastly, a new flying cockroach was discovered in the Philippines. And apparently it's so fast that you can't even catch it.
Whoa. You still freaking learning new animals up to this year, bro? Makes you think, man. What else have we discovered? Earth is a big place, especially under the sea. We don't know what's lurking in there.
Money facts that will blow your mind. Content creators on OnlyFans made more money than all of the NBA players combined. Karenikov has made more in 3 years than Klay Thompson has in his recent 3-year NBA contract. If you've been subscribed to Netflix since 2007, you've paid them almost $2,000. If you had instead invested that $2,000 into Netflix back then, you would have over $350,000 today. Paul Walker secretly bought a $9,000 engagement ring for an Iraq veteran that he overheard in a jewelry store telling his soon-to-be wife that he wasn't going to be able to afford it. Disney spends $50 million a year on fireworks. That's over $130,000 a night. Amazon will lose over $1 billion a year if it went 1 second slower. These are the average retirement savings in the United States by age group. The average for under 35 is $50,000. Average by the time you're 65 is over $600,000. The New York Stock Exchange is owned by a company named Intercontinental Exchange, which has its stock listed on the New York Stock Exchange.
This is why you should.
I'm sorry, it's just that freaking OnlyFans versus NBA salaries, man, it's getting to me, bro. That many people are subbing up to OnlyFans where they're making more than NBA players. Damn, that's a shame, bro. I wouldn't even think something like that's possible, man. They making meals, bro, a month? Whew. What has the world come to, Seekies?
To be scared of Ouija boards. A former Reddit user said that he used a Ouija board with results and let something into his home. He said that he has also been physically assaulted by this entity. He said that it started out with a feeling that he was being watched. Doors closing and footsteps on the hardwood floor when he was home alone. All of this slowly progressed into being kept awake by something shaking the bed and pulling off the covers. He said that sometimes he even heard whispers of his name. The board would disappear for days on end and then show up in places that he never even put it. He became obsessed with it. Things got even worse though. He said that he began to see a black mass in the corner of the room and the silhouette of a man watching him from the doorway. One night, the paranormal activity escalated into a full-blown attack. He said that he had his hair pulled, fingers pricked, and that he was choked while being held down in bed. During the attack, he claims that this thing whispered into his ear in what could have only been Latin. After this event, he finally decided to have his house blessed, and fortunately, this entity hasn't shown back up. He said that he will never again play with one of those boards.
These are the top 5
Can
most
never
disturbing
do.
entities from the Home Safety Hotline DLC. At number 5, we have the False Caroler. These are basically big humanoid creatures with feathers. They approach your front door after dark and start this weird, twisted singing. They do this so they can lure you out, take you away, and feed you to their young. At number 4, we have Lucy. If it's hailing outside, watch out because Lucy can slip into your home. Once inside, she tries to look for humans and pets to steal their warmth. At number 3, we have the Hunt. This is not a snowstorm, it's fungus. What looks like snow here is actually spores. And those spores turn people into whites, basically coughing zombies that die after 48 hours. At number 2 we have Hans. Hans is a cloth creature that occupies homes. And once it does, it changes the personalities of the people that live there, making them more hazardous and wild. And at number 1 is Perchta. If you have a messy home, there's a chance that Perchta could come visit. And if she finds you there, she literally turns you into a scarecrow, killing you instantly.
3 disturbing facts about your favorite cartoons. Number 3. Peter Pan is actually the angel of death. He would take kids to Neverland, which represented the afterlife. That's why none of the kids there get older, because they're already dead. Number 2. In Winnie the Pooh, Christopher Robin has severe schizophrenia, and all the other characters represent his mental disorder. Tigger, ADHD, Eeyore, depression, Piglet, anxiety. Bloody sad. And number 1, Pokemon was never real. In episode 1, Ash Ketchum balls off his bike and lands directly on his head, which then puts him into a coma. And it's led to believe that his entire journey after that is all in his head. Day officially ruined. Cheers, legends.
I thought he had to catch them all though, bro. What the
weirdest
heck?
facts about Australia you didn't know. Kangaroos have 3 vaginas. Next, Australia has the biggest cattle farm in the world. And it is bigger than the whole country of Israel in size. Moving on, there's around 10,000 beaches in Australia, but less than 1,000 of them can be visited at any time. And you know, around 80% of all plants and animals are unique to Australia, meaning you can find them anywhere else in the world.
Wow. I need to go to Australia, bro. That's on the bucket list, man. But I heard they got some big spiders. I know we don't do that, though. Right, they're huge, man, over Australia. That's it.
The worst times to be alive in history, part 1. 536 AD. In 536 AD, most of the world went dark for up to 18 months, as a mysterious fog ruled over Europe, the Middle East, and a part of Asia. The fog blocked the sun during the day, causing temperatures to drop, crops to fail, and people to die. Follow for the next time.
You are going to want to keep the light on for these spooky facts from history. Prince Anastasia and her sisters were actually very close to Rasputin. They were taught to treat him as their friend and confidant, and when they died, it was revealed that they each wore amulets with his picture inside. Mary I of England wanted a child so badly she actually had a phantom pregnancy. Her abdomen swelled, she stopped menstruating, and she even vomited in the mornings. But no child came. The most chilling part, Mary thought it was God punishing her for tolerating heretics. The incident may very well have led to her brutal punishments of non-Catholics, earning her the nickname Bloody Mary. In the summer of 1518 in Strasbourg, France, a lone woman started dancing in the streets. But soon enough, people joined her, and they couldn't wouldn't stop. The so-called dancing plague lasted for months, was maybe even fatal, and its reasons are still unknown today. In Brazil one year, a 2-year-old boy died from pneumonia. The family was shocked when he sat upright at the funeral and asked for a glass of water. Then suddenly, he collapsed again, leaving the coroner to proclaim him dead once more.
What? Twice, man? He woke up, asked for some water, and then gone again? That is chilling, bro.
Spooky effects that will keep you up at night. There's over 100 known serial killers that haven't been caught. The world's largest pyramid is not in Egypt, but in Mexico. 12% of people dream without any color imagery. The human body contains enough fat to make 7 bars of soap.
Not the scariest thing in the ocean. Close, but not the scariest thing in the ocean. Not even the Oreo equalizer. Nah, the last animal I would want to see in the ocean. Bro, let me tell you about this squid. Now, at 5 feet, 100 pounds, a Humboldt ain't even that big. Now, what makes this satanic cephalopod such a menace is they can hunt in packs of not tens, not hundreds, but up to and over 1,000. Yeah, that's 3 zeros like a Tony Snell stat line. They're called the Red Devil because they can rapidly flash the color red. And they use these flashes to communicate. It's like Morse code, but for crippling calamari. We don't know exactly how it works, but it's believed if a squid grabs something and suddenly starts pulsing red, it could be telling every squid in the area that it's free eats out here. By the way, most deep sea animals can't even see the color red. They really color coordinate with the worst side of the spectrum. Just imagine getting hunted by that. Diablo Rojo has a beak that can slice flesh, apparently crack bone, and we know they'll actively bring that smoke to humans. There's more than a couple stories of divers getting jumped by squid and nearly getting pulled into the abyss. There's also reports of them attempting to rip the masks off divers. Like, too many times for it to just be a coincidence. And see, the thing is, an orca's never offed a person in the wild, and a shark biting you is like me biting a wing and tasting cauliflower. It's an unfortunate occurrence, except the wing can't scream. There's no doubt in my mind, a pack of predatory squid would off a person. They're not even safe from themselves. They are highly cannibalistic. Like, it's a legit part of their diet. It's a different type of friendly fire. If they see a sick or injured member of their own shoal, they will eat it alive. Fun fact, if you're fishing and catch a Humboldt, you really catch 4. The one you got and the 3 others tearing it apart while you pull it up. They've also been known to destroy camera equipment and gear because aggression and violence is how they respond to the things they don't understand. Worst part is, you can get jumped by a squid, escape, and if you surface too fast, you can still end up part of the past. The ocean's so unserious. The more you know.
Blood-curdling facts that you
Stay
wish
away
you
from
never
squid.
knew. Part 21. This photo shows an 8-month-old Zhao Bao who was lucky to be alive because his mother stabbed him 90 times after he bit her while she was breastfeeding him. The world's scariest haunted house, McCamey Manor, requires you to sign a 40-page waiver and undergo a physical and mental evaluation. If you manage to make it through the house, you could win $20,000. But to this day, no one has ever made it through. Roman Emperor Nero had a boy castrated, dressed him up as a bride, and married him, all because the boy looked similar to his previous dead wife. A 46-year-old man found and attacked a 13-year-old boy because the kid was killing him too many times in a game of Call of Duty.
How the hell did he even track him down? I'm telling you, bro, you gotta be careful even on the games nowadays, bro. People take things too seriously. They will hunt you down.
Scary videos from China. In the country, there are many secret prisons known as Black Jails. One day, a journalist was given the address of one of these, and this is what she found. The woman asks the reporter if she's here to save her, but the guards quickly lock the door. The woman in the video had been taken here off the record. This video shows a man on death row saying his final goodbyes. The man's name is Li Shiyan. He begs his mother not to cry. Li also bows down as a sign of respect, before being led away to meet his fate. This is a forgotten underground village. It's located in Gansu province. The people here have no food, water, or electricity. Some work in dangerous conditions in the local mine, earning just 30 cents per day. The people are very poor and neglected.
What makes Art the Clown so
30
terrifying
cents?
is that even he doesn't know how powerful
Nah.
he is. When the first Terrifier came out, Art was clearly just your average psychopath who likes to dress up as a clown. But when Terrifier 2 came out, that's when everything changed. Not only for, the plot or the world building, but specifically for Art. Director Damon Leone admitted in an interview that when Art came back to life in the beginning of the second movie, even he was surprised, which sets an entirely different tone for the movie. When the little girl came out of nowhere, which he kind of opened up a gate to hell. Instead of being scared, the guy was laughing. Director Damien Leone admitted that he knows how this whole Terrifier saga is going to end, and everything was truly set in motion in Terrifier 2, which is when Leone really knew what he wanted to do with the character Art the Clown. Because every appearance of the clown prior to that wasn't necessarily half-baked, but even Leone admits that Art the Clown didn't necessarily come at him all at once, and it took him a while to truly figure out who that character was. However, with that said, I don't think we know exactly what Art the Clown is truly capable of. Admittedly, I have yet to see Terrifier 3, but from what I have seen online, this is far from the last time we will get to see this dude on screen. And given you know how Terrifier 2 ends, I imagine Art's true ending for this franchise is going to be one of the most historical events in horror movie history. God, I love these movies.
People who went missing and were found alive years later. In 2011, 2 fishermen from Kiribati were lost at sea for 33 days before they landed on the Marshall Islands, and when they arrived, locals took them to meet the only person on the island who spoke their language. Well, the fishermen then discovered that the only person who spoke the language was one of the fishermen's uncles who went missing 50 years earlier, who also got lost at sea. He was thought to be dead, but it turned out the uncle was perfectly fine and had a whole new life. Next, in 1997, a family in China had their young son abducted outside their home. And when an official search couldn't find their son, the father started his own search. So for the next 2 decades, he would travel all over China on motorbikes with flags of his son and would hand out flyers everywhere. And 24 years after he spent all of his life savings, his son was finally found. Props to that father.
Friendly reminder, if you think the government won't, they absolutely
That's a blessing.
Remember that time the CIA tried to weaponize otters? It went a lot better than the dolphins, but that's only because the otters didn't off themselves. Basically, otters are a lot smarter than they get credit for. They're part of the class of animals that can use tools, and they might have one up on dolphins in that department. Add the fact that they're the only mammal that can take the ocean without blubber, can be trained by humans, and it's basically a brainy, beachside honey badger with all the audacity, but seasoned with pretty privilege. Someone in the CIA saw this aggressive water war weasel and said, give him a fedora, he can do a lot for you. Let's make otter agents. Which led to the Otter dossier. Also, apparently whatever they were doing had something to do with Project MK Ultra. If you think they won. Anyway, here's some stuff you can find in the dossier. They found otters can open zippers and climb ladders. Seemed a little too excited about them being able to carry things and throw objects with their mouth. Otters can chew through a zinc sheet. I don't know how they found that. At one point they say they become devoted to humans, which can lead to their destruction. Whose destruction exactly? They made sure to mention that because they can dive up to 60 feet and can hold their breath longer than 5 minutes, they can enter and leave boats without being seen. There's also a do's and don'ts section, and at the very top of the list they say, never take food from an otter or suffer severe mauling. Somewhere the reason for that rule is sitting in a room with PTSD and missing fingers. There's also some cute stuff, like otters being ticklish and them using that to make them listen. There's also a blurb about taking care of babies, specifically their diarrhea. Once again, the cost of that knowledge was somebody's innocence. Anyway, it's pretty interesting. You should probably check it out on your own. But yeah, the CIA was definitely plotting something. And it involved weapons of otter destruction.
Married by this person who he thought was a woman. In 2023, this 26-year-old Indonesian man named AK met Adinda Kansa on Instagram, where they hit it off and eventually met in person and started their relationship.
Catfish.
Throughout their relationship, Adinda wore a hijab that covered her head, her face, except for her eyes because of her religion. A year later, they got married and had a very small ceremony with only AK's family attending, and Adinda's family was not there because she said that her entire family had passed away. After they tied the knot, AK became extremely suspicious of his new wife because she constantly avoided any intimacy and was always making excuses. But also, AK said that Adinda was wearing her hijab at home at all times, so at this point he knew that she was hiding something. He then began searching for any information he could find on his wife, and that's when he found her old address, and when he went to go visit that home, he found her parents, which she said were dead. The parents told AK that Adinda is actually a man, and they had no idea that they got married. Adinda was arrested, and after an investigation was done, it was determined that he intended to marry AK so that he can steal his family's assets. Adinda was charged with fraud, and if convicted, he faces up to 4 years in prison.
Whatever you
guys think that should be the fate for all catfishes out there, man? Because that's basically what it was. We're going to call a spade for a spade. That was a catfish. Like, how the hell, but how did he let it go that far, man? He got married to him and he didn't even know? That's mind blowing, man. You're going on with somebody, man. You got to do your research nowadays. That's crazy.
You never go searching for this video. These 5 friends were forced to kill each other by the Mexican cartel. These 5 young, aged from 19 to 22, were looking for some sort of employment, and they were promised a high-paying job at a call center. But when the alleged contact was taking them to meet the people for the job, it actually turned out to be a whole scheme to recruit them to the Mexican cartel. And when all 5 of these boys said they didn't want to join, the cartel then said okay and tied them up, taped their mouth and took a picture, and then recorded one of the friends killing all the other 4 friends. And after that, they put the 5th one, who just killed all of his friends, into a car and set it on fire. I am telling you right now, do not go searching for this video because you will find it. And trust me, you do not want to see something like this. This case is absolutely horrific, and the fact that this happens way more often than we think is just extremely scary and disturbing. It's just sad that these young men were just trying to get a job and make some money for themselves. But instead, it turned into a living nightmare. Rest in peace, these 5 young men.
Here's one more reason to be terrified of the ocean. Of course, it's scary when the sea is stormy, but according to Japanese legend, you should be more afraid of calm waters. Because that is when the umibozu is said to rise from the deep. This ghostly, pitch-black figure will not only scare you into a state of shock, but it will then throw you overboard and drown you in the sea.
It is criminal that no one knows what this guy is doing right now. A man is attempting to become the first person ever to walk the entire length of the United States barefoot. He started his over 5,000 kilometer walk in February, and as you'd imagine, his feet have already taken an absolute battering. He's already had to walk through snow, which he says was so cold that it makes every pebble feel like you're walking over a Lego brick. But if the cold wasn't bad enough, he will soon have to walk through the Midwestern summer heat, which will easily reach temperatures of over 100 degrees. And because of that, similar to Russ Cook running through the Sahara, he says that he's going to have to walk overnight because during the day, the paving will just be too hot. He's almost been hit multiple times by massive semi-trucks not paying attention and pushing him off the road. The nerve endings on his feet are so bruised from stepping on rocks that it keeps him up at night. He's had really bad infections that haven't had enough time to heal, because if he does take days off and doesn't make it to New York before the winter, he is screwed. And the part which just blows my mind, he's doing all of this to raise awareness for men's mental health. Despite this amazing cause and what he's putting himself through, he has only 139 followers on TikTok and only 412 on YouTube. I mean, that should be illegal. He's got about 6 months of walking left to do. So please, let's show this man some support and push him through.
That's crazy, man. He's doing that for a good cause, and hopefully, man, just catches some fire, catches some heat, so more people are aware of that. Barefoot, too? That's a different type of breed right there, man.
Have you heard the creepy story behind this photo?
What?
She's been named the expressionless. Well, the story takes place in June of 1972. Hospital employees were very shocked and scared when this woman entered the hospital wearing a blood-soaked gown. What was terrifying is that she had no emotion on her face. When the doctors went to sedate her to see what was wrong, she started to fight back. This is her in that very moment. Now, this is a creepypasta, but some believe that this photo is actually true and that this is a real creepy-ass woman. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Photos from his...
This is a real sign in a city called Davao in the Philippines, and there's a lot of history behind it. Now, as you can see in the sign, it says, "Waving children, please wave back," with a pair of children with their arms up. This sign serves as a warning to everyone passing by that there are ghosts of children in the area. It's believed there's a ton of supernatural activity all around the area, and if you don't wave back, these children will come and haunt you. Upon researching the story, I haven't found anyone reporting that they haven't waved back to any of the children. I've only heard accounts of people waving back and then being okay afterwards. So with that information in my head, I can only assume the worst happens if you don't wave back. So obviously, if you're traveling in the Philippines and you see a child wave to you, wave back for your own safety. The last thing you want is a ghost child following you and haunting you for the rest of your life. Let me know what you guys think about this. I also covered a video on the Aswang, which is another Filipino urban legend. Very scary stuff. Definitely go check that out. And if you have any suggestions, let me know.
You guys waving back, man? I wouldn't want no ghosts, no spirits, bad energy, juju following me, so I'll have to wave back. I don't need that following me around.
This is a true horrifying story, part 32. In parts 25, 26, and 27, I warned you all about the most dangerous book that was ever written, Shams al-Ma'arif. This book is a portal to the world of jinns and demons. There's a person that read this book, and this person faces traumatic incidents every single day. She's a woman from Jordan. She graduated university being the top graded student. She is a genius. She has read hundreds of novels. She had a strong passion for books. She heard about this book called Shams al-Ma'arif. She couldn't live knowing that there's a book that has a strong story behind it without reading it. After many months of trying to find the real copy of this book, she heard about an old man that lives in Jordan that had an ancient copy of Shams al-Ma'arif. She got in touch with him, and he refused to sell the book, but she didn't quit. It took her many weeks to finally buy the book off of him. She goes back home and immediately starts reading the book. After she read the first few chapters of the book, she felt kind of hungry, so she decided to go to the kitchen and prepare some food and then continue reading. As she goes into the kitchen, she opens the oven and a gale of fire burns her face. She spent 3 weeks in the burn unit rehabilitation. The oven was switched off. No one knows till this day where the flames came from. She had multiple plastic surgeries to recover her facial features, but till this day, her face is not what it used to be. After recovery, she goes home weeks later and she looks for the book, knowing that the jinn was the reason she was harmed. She tried to find the book for many days, but it was lost. Years go by. She was home watching TV one day. She came across an Islamic channel that had a live interview program. An old man was being interviewed on this channel. He was asked by the imams about the dangers of a black magic book that he owns. His body was very unusual and his face was burned off. He got a book from under the table and he said this: "I once sold this book to a young woman a long time ago, and the demons warned me not to stop my rituals, and if I gave the book away, they would burn my face and they would burn hers. And after I gave the book, I woke up the next day without my normal face. And the book I sold to that woman was right there laying next to me on bed. I knew that it was the jinns that brought the book back to me. And this is when I strengthened my iman and I quit black magic." Quote, this was all said on TV, and the poor girl was just standing there, watching the same man speak. The man on TV was the man that gave her the book. The book he showed on TV was the book he handed to her. That was the book that was lost. The book that she was looking for.
Damn, it sounded like she got tempted by that knowledge. She just couldn't turn it down. Look what happened. Like some bad spirits was following her. Like the book, the part I'm trying to figure out is how the book, like it just went back to the man's house. Did he take it back, or was it just there the next day? That's something to think about.
This is Tragedy by the Sea, one of the most disturbing and sad photos of all time. Okay, so first glance at this photo, you just think it's a couple arguing at the beach, right? But believe it or not, this photo might have the most unsettling and disturbing backstory ever. On the morning of April 2nd, 1954, a Los Angeles Times photographer named John Gaunt, who was pictured in the middle of this photo, was relaxing on his front yard of his beachfront house when he heard a neighbor shout, "Something's happening on the beach." He then instinctively grabbed his camera and rushed over to see the horrified couple clutching each other on the beach. On the shore stood a young couple named Mr. and Mrs. McDonald, and their body language made John's stomach turn. He realized that someone must be lost, and he then took a photograph from 200 yards away. Only then did he learn that just moments before, the couple's 19-month-old son Michael, who had been playing in the yard, had wandered down to the beach and crawled into the violent waters while they weren't looking. Despite the back-and-forth efforts by the parents, there was nothing they can do but just wait. Unfortunately, later that day, the child's dead body was washed up about a mile away on the beach. And this photo, titled "Tragedy by the Sea," appeared on the front page of the Times the very next day. John Gaunt then won the 1955 Pulitzer Prize Award, calling the photo poignant and profoundly moving. But he also received heavy criticism for capitalizing on the family's tragedy for his photo opportunity. But now, take a look at this photo, knowing everything you do, and tell me it's not one of the saddest and most disturbing photos ever.
Let's talk about this picture. Captured in 2008 by Daniel Young, this is one of the only pieces of evidence that this encounter actually happened. So Daniel was a custodian at Myrtle Elementary School where he worked the night shift. It's a pretty routine night. He's just listening to music when he's suddenly interrupted by the sound of a woman's laughter. He turned around and was terrified when he saw an unknown woman smiling from behind the corner. This was a locked school on after hours, so clearly she was an adult who broke in, so he tried to snap a picture to identify her and then chases after her. But when he turned the corner, she had already darted out of an emergency exit. Later that night, police are called to a home where they arrive at a tragedy. An unknown woman had broken into a nearby home where she knifed two parents, one who was the principal of this school, so brutally they were unrecognizable. One of the daughters who witnessed this woman before she got away described her as this person. Could this photo be of the same unknown woman? And what her connection is to the school and the principal, we don't know.
Most disturbing videos in the world. Episode 6. This picture contains a list of disturbing videos from the least scary to the most. This will be my scariest series ever. Welcome to Tier 7 because we skipped a couple of them. And honestly today we're gonna skip directly to Tier 10. The first video is titled Funky Town. This video single-handedly could be the worst video the internet has ever had. Now obviously I can't show the video here, but I can tell you everything you need to know about it. And please remember, don't look this up. Trust me. It shows a man, getting executed, in which they remove the man's face all while he's still alive. And lots of other stuff start happening. And in the background of the video, the song Funky Town starts playing. You know this song? Yeah, that one. Make sure to like and follow because I start my brand new series tomorrow.
Those videos, man, where they always have to like break it down and explain. There's always chilling, man, and I take them at their word. I never looked it up because I don't need that in my mind. But the way they break it down with the details, especially about Sebastian on Tank 22, we know, man. Crazy how people can even do that to another human being. Edit, man. You guys, I want to see y'all guys call out the edits, man, down below as well. If y'all guys can spot them out, because I might miss some too. Y'all can correct me, man. We all a community, yo.
This is the disturbing moment. This woman laughed in court after she took this 3-year-old's life in a random attack. On June 3rd, police received numerous phone calls about a stabbing at a grocery store parking lot in Ohio. At around 3 p.m. on this day, 38-year-old Margot Wood was loading groceries into her car while her 3-year-old son, Julian, sat in his car seat. That's when 32-year-old Bianca Ellis entered the car and began stabbing the little boy. When Margot noticed, she tried to stop the attacker, and as a result, she was also wounded. Julian was then rushed to the hospital where he unfortunately passed away. Now, what's disturbing was that this was a random attack, and after looking at surveillance footage, the attacker was seen following the mother and the child in and out of the grocery store. Then, when Bianca was brought into court, the judge began reading out the indictment, and she was seen smiling and laughing the entire time. And after an assessment was done on Bianca, they're arguing that she has bipolar disorder and had a psychotic break, which explains why she did what she did. And this story only gets crazier. Before this incident, Bianca confessed to another murder in Bakersfield, and she even gave details of what she did with this person's body. She also warned officers that if she wasn't arrested, she was going to murder someone and eat their flesh. But none of this was taken too serious, and she was released from the mental institution, and not long after, she committed this heinous crime.
So, let's talk about the most disturbing animated film ever made that has been banned all over the world. 1992's Midori. Our main character is 12-year-old Midori. After her mother becomes extremely ill, she is tricked into joining a traveling circus. And these are some of the fine people that she is surrounded by every day. The film contains a lot of very explicit scenes of violence and other things towards young Midori. The film is also known for its animal content. When it was originally released, Midori was banned all over the world, including in its own home country of Japan. And I can definitely see why. I'm not kidding when I say this is probably the most graphic, strange, animated film that has probably ever been made. And this is most certainly not a film for a lot of people. It's a film I really don't feel like I can recommend, but there are lots of very interesting discussions around the morality of this film. And if you've seen this film, I'd love to know what you guys think of it.
Hell no, I didn't even know that film existed. It really was banned. All of them. It's always people in those positions, man. Power.
Number 10 is Saddam Hussein. We all remember Saddam. Number 9, Kim Jong-il, who is the uncle and the former leader of Kim Jong-un of North Korea. And he was even worse than Kim Jong-un. Like, even though Kim Jong-un is bad, like, we got to step up from Kim Jong-il. I remember reading that he once fed his family to dogs. Number 8 is Genghis Khan, the guy, you know, the Mongolia Chinese wall, the Great Wall of China, forced everybody to do that.
Ooh.
Number 7, Heinrich Himmler, one of the right-hand men in the Nazi Party, was just all around evil. Number 6, Pol Pot, terrible man, maybe was one of the most ruthless killers in history. Number 5, Mao Zedong, the terrible emperor of China. Number 4, Osama bin Laden, the fool who committed 9/11 and went in hiding, and then we all forgot about him until Obama was like, we're actually going to go get him now, and I was like, thank God. Number 3, Vlad the Impaler. Vlad the Impaler is the basis for the character of Dracula. His middle name was Dragula, and he was known for impaling his victims on sticks and posing them in front of the castle. Number 2, Joseph Stalin, who was the leader of Russia during World War II, and he was basically one of the most ruthless killers as well. He had concentration camps for the Russians that didn't support him, and you know, millions of people died under him. If you like this list and want more lists about other nonsense, follow me. Leave me a comment with the most evil person in history in your book. Also follow my Instagram and fiance Samantha, who I've tagged. Number 1, I can't even say his name on TikTok, but we all know who it is. Evil Austrian mustache man.
Think twice before you answer the door on Halloween night. On Halloween night in 1984, a pregnant mom named Doreen Herbert heard the doorbell ring. She opened the door to find someone in a wolf mask holding a machete. This was like a scene straight out of a horror movie, and she was viciously slaughtered in front of her 4-year-old daughter. Special attention had been made to harm the fetus as well, and it was found under this chair. Luckily, when the attack started, her daughter hid behind the couch, and then the man in the wolf mask paced around the house looking for her. The man in the mask shouted that if she said anything, he was going to come back and kill her too. Crime scene investigators noticed a trail of blood leading from the house down the sidewalk and across the freeway to a nearby neighborhood. This attack happened shortly after her husband left to go to the store, and he came home just a few minutes after she died. But luckily, officers did their due diligence. Looking into Doreen's past, they found out she had a tumultuous marriage with her ex-husband, Michael Dennis. And they actually had a child that drowned under Doreen's supervision in 1980. 2 years later, this distraught ex sued Doreen for the death of their child, but lost in court. And just hours after the murder, the police paid a visit to Michael Dennis. He was calm and collected and gave consent to search, but as he reached out to sign the form, they noticed a gash on his hand. He said he got this injury from carving pumpkins the day before, but they noticed that the blood was still clotting. He began to walk detectives up towards his bedroom and lunged towards the bed. And they were luckily able to tackle him before he grabbed his revolver. And also inside the house, they found blood near the washing machine, and blood was all over his car door handle and steering wheel. His past girlfriend also said that the previous Halloween, he went to a party wearing a wolf mask, pictured here. Michael Dennis was charged for the death of Doreen and her unborn child. And due to the brutality, he was actually given the death penalty. Michael Dennis had never moved on and hated Doreen for finding love and having another. And I have to say, if you've lost a child, Halloween is probably a really difficult day to look outside and see kids running around everywhere. But that does not excuse his actions. Let me know what case you want me to cover next and follow for more true crime.
It is wild. This is actually happening. Celebrities are now losing thousands of followers in an unprecedented TikTok trend where people are deliberately blocking the rich and famous so that they lose their sponsorships, their brand deals, and ultimately money. And you know what? It's working. So here's how the blockout trend started, and more interestingly, why. This is Hailey Bailey. She's a model and a content creator, and she doesn't know it yet, but she's about to trigger a massive digital revolution against the world's celebrities and herself, all with one video.
Let them eat cake.
But to understand why what she did here caused so much outrage, we need to go back to the 1800s. I'm not even joking, the Queen of France in 1774 has somehow triggered a massive revolution on TikTok in 2024. Marie Antoinette was actually the last queen before the French Revolution, because at a time where the country was in extreme debt and the people were living in poverty and famine, Marie was seen living a lavish lifestyle and spending huge amounts of money on unnecessary things. For example, she was best known for her extreme looks and love for fashion. Her annual clothing budget alone was equivalent to today's $3.6 million. That's $300K a month. But ironically, what she is most remembered for is the time that she was told that the public were starving and they didn't have enough bread to eat, to which she replied, "Let them eat cake." And I say it's ironic because it's believed that she never actually even said this. Regardless, the public's anger grew and led to a revolution and ultimately her execution. So back to 2024 when Haley Bailey dressed up as Marie Antoinette and used a trending sound saying "let them eat cake" while outside the Met Gala where tickets cost more than the average down payment for a house. She quickly became the modern Marie Antoinette and triggered the blockout revolution. Now since then she has apologized and said she didn't know the implications of that quote before she used it. And while the anger started with just her video, with one of the top comments saying "we're giving you the Marie Antoinette experience," it quickly grew to all of the celebrities that attended that event and beyond. The Hunger Games societal disparity became the movement theme, with hundreds of people commenting "watching from District 12." Creators started making videos showing off their own daily celebrity block lists, and the people who joined the trend say that the movement is simple. Just like how the French people's taxes were funding Antoinette's lavish lifestyle while they starved, today the public's attention is often what funds these celebrities' lifestyles. And so people say if they're using this attention money similar to Antoinette on massive unnecessary displays of wealth, or while people around the world struggle and starve, that attention and therefore money will be removed. And that's how and why the block trend started. So the question is, do you agree with this trend, or are people taking it way too far?
This is actually based off of a real crime that took place in a Chuck E. Cheese in 1983. One night in 1983, right before close, a 19-year-old man snuck and hid into the bathroom until he knew the doors were locked. There were 5 staff members on that night, 1 manager that was in her office, 2 crew members that were in the kitchen cleaning, and 2 crew members that were in the party room cleaning. Once he knew the doors were locked, then he started his spree, where he walked into the party room unaliving those 2 staff members, then making his way into the kitchen to do the same. While all of this unfolded, the manager is watching this on the security cameras. Before she was able to do anything though, he was already in the office, forcing her to open the safe and unaliving her as well. He was then apprehended by the police and sentenced to death, but his sentencing is still on hold to this day.
Wow, really? I never knew Five Nights at Freddy's was based off that.
This couple ended up seeing each other in jail, and it's kind of funny, just watch.
Play sucks! Alright, here we go. This one, baby.
You all. This is a no swearing zone.
Shut up.
What's your first name?
I don't have.
You don't have one? I need you to stand up.
Oh,
Stand up.
yes, ma'am.
Stand right
I'm
here.
standing.
Anything sharp on you? Any guns? Weapons?
Everything. I have it all.
Okay.
I'm gonna murder you.
Anything underneath the hair?
Everything. I need a lawyer right now. Does anyone know?
All right.
Can I explain something to you?
Don't you ever explain anything to me.
Can I ask you questions?
Never.
Why not?
Use a medical?
I'm refusing everything. Shut the up. You too.
Hey, do you know?
And you know something?
It hurts.
You're a
Hurts.
jerk. You.
Yeah. Leave the court.
We are
Do
going
you think
to
she's
court.
gonna make it?
Are you gonna marry me now?
I'll marry you whenever I get out of my stress. If we get out of our stress together, maybe we can get together. I'll give you a kiss before I leave.
Oh, don't you want to kiss me while I was wrapped up?
I ain't gonna make you happy, bitch, because you know why? I ain't happy myself, alright? That's the way it is.
Oh, well.
She was really asking him if he was gonna marry her yet, but they did have a pretty real conversation.
He said, "No, thank you. That ain't for me, bro."
There was one question that this man, Jason Crawford, wouldn't answer when he called 911 to say, "My wife's been shot outside of our home in Coleman, Alabama." Just one question. And I bet it's the same question you would ask. Who shot her? The dispatcher asked that 3 times, but Jason Crawford never responded. Now, there's no physical evidence directly pointing to the fact that Jason shot her. No fingerprints, no DNA, nothing. You're going to hear from a juror on the case against Jason. State of Alabama versus Jason Crawford. That juror is going to take you into the deliberation room, and she's going to tell you how they asked to hear that 911 call again. After the trial, they wanted to go over the 911 call one more time, and listening back to it, and it's not very long, they heard one thing. one thing different than what I just told you. One thing that when they heard it back again, they were like, ah! In fact, the juror slammed her hand on the table and said, "That's it." And at that point, the jury walked out with a verdict. You'll see it all Saturday night on CBS, 48 hours, also streaming on Paramount Plus.
Let me guess. Guilty.
If your name's Jessica and you live in northern Colorado, I need you to check your voicemail right away because I have your checkbook. My wife thinks we're having an affair and I don't know how to fix it.
So I'm scrolling TikTok late night, come across a video where the algorithm is getting way too close to home. My name's Jessica. I live in northern Colorado. I never answer my phone. I never listen to voicemails. I very rarely respond to text messages. So I'm watching this last night, laughing, and then I decide, hey, let's go ahead and check my voicemail. So I check my voicemail, and sure enough, here this is.
This is kind of strange, but I was cleaning out my car with my husband and came across a checkbook with your name on it. And I'm not quite sure what's in my car, and I'd like to return it to you if it's yours. So if you could give me a call back.
So after listening to that, I immediately thought I was hallucinating on my weed gummy. And after listening to it a few more times, realized that it was real. So we stayed up way too late, spent countless hours laughing hysterically at all of the comments, thinking about all the ways that we could fan the flames of this amazing situation that we found ourselves in, wreak absolute havoc on both of our relationships. Then realized that you're sitting with the upper hand. You can very easily sell my information on the dark web, write some checks. So let's get this figured out. All right, so we have an update while I was filming this. We have been in touch, found out that our kids go to the same elementary school. We still don't know how the checkbook got into the car. We're gonna meet up later today so I can get my checkbook back and hopefully try to figure out what happened. Thanks, guys.
Oh, she was about to get finessed, bro. The little kid took it.
This paramedic unknowingly treated her own 17-year-old daughter after a horrific car accident left her unrecognizable. At around 4:30 p.m. on November 15th of last year, paramedic Jamie Erickson was called to the scene of a crash just north of Calgary. A car lost control on an icy stretch of road and was hit by an oncoming truck. The driver of the car was injured but able to get out, but sadly, the girl in the passenger seat was trapped inside with serious injuries. They were so horrific that she was unrecognizable. Jamie was the first one on scene and was able to get inside of the car and treat and comfort the girl until she was extricated. The girl was then airlifted to a hospital where she sadly later died of her injuries. Upon leaving the scene, Jamie expressed her sadness to her partner that it was likely that someone would be losing their daughter due to the girl's injuries. At this point, Jamie's shift was over and she headed home, but once there, she was greeted by the RCMP. And unfortunately, they told her that the unrecognizable girl in the crash was actually her 17-year-old daughter, Montana. That day, Montana was coming home from a dog walk with one of her friends when the crash occurred. Montana was Jamie's only child, and she was described as a firecracker who was really successful at everything she did. She loved swimming and wanted to be a lawyer when she grew up. According to Jamie, Montana was able to give one final gift, which was organ donation, and because of that, she saved the lives of 2 people. I've attached the GoFundMe for the Erickson family in my bio. The family has served as advanced care paramedics for nearly 30 years, so I think it's the least we can do to either share or donate to the GoFundMe to give them the time to heal and recover from this horrible loss.
Man, that's such a sad story. She was so unrecognizable, her mom didn't even know. That's one of the saddest stories we heard yet, man.
Now I got tagged in this video, so I'm here to explain apartment and collapsed in front of Dennis's building. Dennis then told him that his medication made his legs wobbly, and then he took the man to his apartment. Now instead of drugging him, killing him, and strangling him, he called an ambulance for the guy. Soon the guy got better and went back to Dennis's apartment to thank him. Dennis invited him in and then strangled him and killed him. Pretty soon, the residents in his building would notice a severe issue with the plumbage. So they called the state agent to investigate what was causing the clog in the drains. Funny enough, Dennis was the person who called the agency. They found out that human remains were clogging every single drain. I'm talking clunks of 12 2018 at the age of 72. Like and follow for more.
That was dark, bro.
What's up, y'all? I'm back with another banger, back with another video. This is such a sad, sad story, y'all. Honestly, this story broke my heart. Listening to it, looking at it, it could have been avoided. This man lost his life for no reason. This is Jeremy and Khadijah Brown. They're both married. Yesterday on Facebook, Khadijah made a post around about 8:30 something that morning saying that Jeremy was bisexual. Then about an hour later, y'all, she goes live on Facebook, her and her mom, basically talking shit about Jeremy. I got the video. Let me show y'all.
Yeah, people want to have something to say, but he ain't here with his kids. He ain't helping. He left at 6:06 to go be with his mama. Instead of church.
So that was a video basically of her and her mama basically talking shit about Jeremy. Now, y'all, the crazy part about this is this whole time he is there at the house while they talking shit about him. And also their kids are around. So not only are they talking shit about him, but they are degrading him in front of his kids and in front of his face, which is sad as fuck. She basically goes on to start arguing with Jeremy about not cooking the kids breakfast, saying how he don't do this and how he don't do that. But you on Facebook Live, if you can get on live, you can cook breakfast for your kids. I don't see what's the big deal or why you trying to start with him.
Preach.
Then y'all on the live, she starts to put her hands on him. They start to go back and forth. He really tells her that he's not trying to go back and forth with her and that he's just trying to leave. She refuses to let him leave. He tells her again to keep her hands off of him, and I guess he swiped her hand or pushed her or something. He also was on the phone with a family member or a friend so that they can be a witness to what was going on. Y'all, she starts to act big and bad. Of course, her mom is in the background hyping her up, Now, y'all, I will tell y'all that this next clip that I'm about to post is very, very sensitive. So as y'all can see in that clip, he's clearly trying to not be confrontational with her at all, and she's consistently starting with him. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all this part. Later on in the video, she starts to tell him, oh, I'll beat your ass, I'll do all these things to you, and threaten him. She then goes and gets a gun and starts to yell out, murder scene, her exact words, y'all. I'm going to post a clip of that part, but I don't know how much more of it is going to let me post. Y'all, this is sensitive content. If you cannot view it, just keep strolling. Please do not report my video. So as y'all can hear in that clip, she basically continued to put her hands on him, and she went and got a gun and basically threatened his life and was making real big ass threats in the video on live.
Yep.
I know this video long, but y'all stay with me. In the next 45-50 seconds, you will hear in the video that the gun goes off. This is sensitive content, guys. Please listen. That part of the video was so hard for me. But as y'all can hear, they screaming in the background, the mama screaming. All of a sudden, now you want peace and y'all need to stop this. But you was just instigating this in the background. Now, Jeremy done lost his life over something stupid. And now Khadijah talking about it was an accident. How was it an accident when you were saying, oh, I'm finna kill you, bitch? Murder scene, excuse my language. Don't ban my video TikTok. But, yeah, all of this could have been avoided. I just want to know, do y'all think she gonna go to jail? She gonna get charged? Do y'all think that they gonna cut her some slack because they feel like it was an accident? I don't think that it was an accident. And honestly, I feel like she need to get everything that she deserves. He even told the kids before all of this happened that he loved them. Y'all, after that part of the video, the kids was like, my daddy, my daddy. They seen him laying lifeless in a pool of blood. In front of the kids, dog. That's just crazy. This whole story was just so sad.
She was just saying nothing but the truth. Truly. Seekers, if you guys made it with me to the end of the video, thank you guys for seeking the truth with me today. Make sure you guys comment down below. Also, don't forget to hit that post notification bell so you always get notified when I upload my next videos. You guys are going to catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.